Alright, and welcome back to the second part of the SCS modding. So in the last video we were just setting up the files for getting the Western Star in, and now this tutorial is going to be about getting our Blender all set up and ready to bring in this Western Star. So you are going to have to go to the SCS modding uh, wiki again, and you're going to need the conversion tools. And here's the link here. On this browser, it doesn't seem to, I can't click and download it, so I had to right click and save link as, and it should download as a RAR. So I've already downloaded this and put it into our tools folder to keep everything organized, and you will see we have the conversion tools here. So I use WinRAR, so I'm going to right click this and I'm going to actually I guess we can open it up. Yes. I'm going to extract it to the same name. It's just called conversion tools 212, and I'll keep these in here. So we're going to come back to that later once we get into Blender. And I also have the SCS Blender Tools add-on downloaded, which in the last video I showed where that was as well. Same wiki, and it's the SCS Blender Tools download, and we're on 2.1 is the current version. And we are using Blender 2.93, so this is compatible with it, which is perfect. So here is Blender. You're going to want to open your Blender. Yours is going to look probably a little bit different. But you know, everything's basically the same. I just kind of moved my scene onto the left side instead of it being on the right. But what we're going to want to do is go to Edit, Preferences, click on Add-ons, and then you're going to want to go to Install and browse to where you saved the blend tools.zip. You don't have to extract the zip. You just select it here, click Install Add-on. I've already done it. I guess I can do it again. I've already done it. And it should say, it should kind of just bring you into something like this. You'll see it, and the current version 2.1, which is perfect. And now you are set up with the SCS tools. You can see it, if it worked, you'll see SCS tools up here. And if you hit N on your keyboard, you will see this large list here. And if you'll see SCS tools again, and you'll be using these quite a bit. So, um, yeah, it's handy to kind of keep that set up. So now you have your Blender ready to start modding, but now we still need to do a couple more setup things. So on the right side here, you have this little wrench and a screwdriver, and then you should see SCS Global Settings. So we've got a bunch of red stuff here. We're going to want to set this up. So you have to do this every time you select whatever mod you're working on. So obviously right now we're working on the Western Star, so we're going to want to set our project base path to that Western Star. So you can just hit the folder here on the right side. It's going to bring a pop-up window, and we can just browse to where we have our truck, which is mine's on the desktop, and we're going to be working out of the EXP folder. We can go in here, and all you do is that's it. You just hit select SCS directory. You're going to see it kind of load, and you're going to see these top four pieces here. They're all red, which is perfectly fine because this is for map modding, and we're not doing that today. We're just doing we just want to make sure that the hookup lib directory is uh, is not red, and the mat substance library is not red, so that looks perfect. So currently we have our Blender set up, and we are ready to bring in our Western Star. So I'm really hoping that when we bring this in, we should have no errors. So I'm going to go to File, Import, SCS Game Object, .pim. So we're going to click that, and it remembers the last place that we were at. So I'm going to go into here, and then it's going to be Vehicle, Truck, Western Star, and then we're going to bring in the cabin, and we'll bring in the day cab. So we're just going to select that, SCS import, and if we had set up our files right, we should have 0 errors, and that is perfect. There was no errors. If there was errors, you'll see on the left side of the screen here, right in here, it'll list all the errors. But we set up our truck perfect the first time, and it's ready to go. So you can notice these red boxes everywhere. Those are collisions. Um, and if you have this window on the side here, you can see this. This is the collisions. These are the model locators, shadows. So these turn things on and off. If you hold shift, it turns it on. And like it says, if you shift plus click on it, it'll make it visible. If you hold control and click on it, it subtracts it from the visibility. So we're going to want to get rid of the collisions. So I'm holding control, left clicking on the collisions, and we're also going to get rid of these shadows. And there we go. If you wanted to get rid of all these are model locators everywhere. So you can also hold control and hit the M here. And there we go. So that is the cab of the Western Star imported. And if you hold C, you have solid mode, material mode, and wireframe. Um, you're probably going to want to do most of your modding in solid mode, but if you want to see um, the materials on the truck, you can go to material mode and you'll see the truck should be red. It's loading the shaders here. This is the first time we've brought this in. Perfect. There we go. So that looks great. Um, if you don't like red, you are in Blender. You can change the color of what the base color shows up as, and that's also where this um, active tools and workspace settings is. And then if you come down here, base paint color, you can change it around in here to whatever you'd like. Let's just say we like a green truck. There we go. It doesn't change it in game. It just shows it in the editor like that. So that's kind of nice. So there you go. You brought in your first model into Blender, and in the further videos, we'll go, um, show the steps on adding parts, talking about model locators, talking about the different shaders that SCS uses, and the shaders are built into Blender, and that'll be with the whole material modes and stuff like that. And then I'll also show you in some further videos on how to export your um, mods and test them in game. Um, so that is all that concludes for this video, and I hope you had zero errors getting your truck in. And if not, you can just start at the beginning and work your way through it again, and hopefully it works. Um, but yeah, the next video we're going to be kind of just going over some of the tools, I guess, in Blender. Thanks for watching. And another thing we're going to want to set up is our conversion tools, and you'll find that underneath the printer, which is the output properties. And down here, the conversion tool path will more than likely be red. So we're going to click on the folder on the right, and we'll browse to where you saved your SCS conversion tools. For me, it's on the desktop in our tools, and we extracted the zip, and here's the folder here, conversion tools 212. I'm just going to go in there and you hit accept, boom, that's perfect. That should not be red anymore, and that is our conversion tools set up, and that'll be it for the Blender setup.